Buckeyes are preparing for battle, and you're preparing to listen to them. Equally important, this is the Fan Warm-Up Show.
Presented by the Ohio State Army ROTC. Decide to lead today.
Buckeyes leg number 2 of the West Coast swing. Happy College Basketball Sunday, everybody. Ohio State on the road today at 6 o'clock, taking on the Huskies of Washington. Last time out for the Buckeyes, it was a very good game. Needed to bounce back in the biggest way after the Nebraska loss at home. You went on the road to Oregon and treated Oregon appropriately. 72-62 was the final score in that game. Big storyline for Ohio State coming off of the Oregon game. I thought it was a couple of things. I thought one, defensive effort was really good for 40 minutes. Again, I mean, we can talk until we're blue in the face about maybe the quality of Oregon's offense, but it doesn't matter. You still have to go on the road and play defense, and that's what this team did. That and something off of the bench. Gabe Cupps gave you 9 points off of the bench, which was fantastic to see. Something, anything, is a good thing for Ohio State off the bench, and he did that. Reimer, what's going on, buddy? Good to talk to you.
Hey, shout out Centerville there, right?
Shout out
there.
Centerville.
Absolutely, he was awesome. Gabe Cupps gave some fantastic minutes in that game, especially when you needed to. When you were without Brandon Knoll, you needed something off the bench, and I mean, you had 0 points against Nebraska. Something had to happen, and Gabe Cupps brought it.
He did, and hopefully that gives some confidence today against Washington and the road moving forward. Here was Jake Diebler late in the evening on Thursday night into Friday morning talking about Gabe Cupps' performance off the bench.
You're right. This was more like what we expected from him, and I think being aggressive, playmaking, and playing with passion. Playing with some fire and passion, and he did. Ball pressure, giving him kind of like 2 or 3 things, Steve, very specifically that he has to do for us. And if he doesn't do, he was going to come out and he did it. And I think, to your point, yes, that was a little bit more like, those of us who saw him coming up through high school and what he did his freshman year when he wasn't hurt, that was more like it.
It was very good from Gabe Cupps off the bench. Again, something to watch out for tonight against Washington. Another big piece of Ohio State's victory on Thursday evening into Friday morning. On the road at Oregon was a 21-0 run that really spurred Ohio State into a big lead, and then they just, not that they took their foot off the gas pedal, but you were feeling really good. And he didn't get down by 15 points early, which was very nice. So hopefully wash, rinse, repeat on the road against Washington. Here was Jake Diebler a little bit earlier on over the weekend talking about that 21-0 run.
I'll tell you, my biggest concern, Steve, was rebounding and taking care of the ball. And, I think we did that in those stretches. They are like, when you see those guys in person and they went bigger, they started a bigger lineup than they had started in recent games. And you got Evans, Stewart, and Biddle across the front court. I mean, that is a huge lineup. So we went big at times, but it still comes down to, certainly got to have great technique on the glass and when you box out, but it's fight. It's want to. And we got the 50-50 balls. We talked about how important that was in the last game, not getting enough of them. We got more than we got most of them tonight, and I thought that was really important.
It was good. Everything that could go Ohio State's way ended up going Ohio State's way, which is, again, very good. 3-0 on the road so far this year in the Big Ten. I think any team in the country, any team in this conference, any coach, any player would take that record. Before we go out to Seattle and check in with Ron Stokes, tail of the tape so far for Washington this season. 9-6. They sit in 13th in the Big Ten. Do not let that record fool you, though, because this is one of the better teams in the Big Ten. Their record does not indicate so. They lost a tough game to Baylor, Reimer. I know you're a big fan of Baylor this season. Colorado, UCLA, they lost to UCLA by 2 points. They lost to Seattle, which blip on the radar for sure. Let their guards down a little bit in that one. And then their last couple of games, tough on the road, the Indiana swing, taking on the Hoosiers, losing by 10. And then really tough fight on the road at Purdue last week at Mackey, losing to Purdue 81-73. But these Washington guys are very good and very athletic.
Yeah, Washington was a team that I was high on coming into the year just because Danny Sprinkle, he's a really solid coach, and they brought in a lot of nice pieces from the transfer portal, like Desmond Claude, Wesley H. You'll see today two of the better guards in the Big Ten, and the Big Ten is just loaded with guards. But they also have a big on the inside named Hannes Steinbach.
Yeah, classic Big Ten name, too.
He is averaging a double-double. He's going to be a problem down low. It's going to take a handful down there for them.
It's going to be fun. Coming up at 6 o'clock, Buckeyes at Huskies. Let's go out to Seattle right now and check in with our great friend Ron Stokes.
It's time to go inside the Buckeyes with OSU basketball analyst and former captain Ron Stokes.
So, Ron, about a month ago, we talked to you in the beautiful city of Evanston, Illinois. You guys had some bus issues. It wasn't necessarily a transportation issue today, more so a boat and a bridge problem. Happy College Basketball Sunday, Ron. What was going on with the travel today?
Yeah, kudos to Skip Mossick to get us on the air on time. Yes, I mean, you just to Seattle. It just wasn't necessarily meant for this many people here to be in this city, and they have a road out and then the one road pathway coming in, to your point. Yeah, there was a delay because of the boat. I mean, the bridge parting ways allowed both to go through. So we're here, we're ready. And, just to go to your points you just made, when you look at this record of Washington, 4 out of their 6 losses, they did not have their first and or second best player in some of those games. So clearly you have to really take that and not necessarily read too much into it. They are a quality team. Based on the reports, Wesley Yates is questionable. Okay. He may play here tonight, but clearly they're still a really good team.
Let's go back to Thursday evening, Ron, on the road in Eugene. What did you like from this bounce-back performance by Ohio State? Because they got out to a lead. I think they only trailed for like 4 seconds of the game. Like, it wasn't a lot. It was very early on. Oregon took the lead. Ohio State then kind of ran away. 21-0 run at the beginning of the second half, kind of put them out of distance to Oregon. But what did you like most about the Buckeyes' performance and resiliency on Thursday evening on the road in Eugene?
I thought Jake Diebler said it, their toughness. So you don't win games on the road, and especially in a competitive conference like this, unless you have toughness, especially on the defensive end. And when you have that type of decisive run, that means you're getting it done on both ends of the floor, not just the offensive. You're getting stops. And that was the big reason why they held Oregon scoreless for that long of a time. And I thought their preparation was incredible. Nate Biddle had a tough game. And when the best player of the opposition has a tough game, it's not just he's having an off night. I think Ohio State's defensive schemes that was deployed by the coaching staff and the execution by the players had a lot to do with that.
There's one thing that's been very interesting about this version of Ohio State basketball, Ron, and I don't know if you would agree or not. They've done a really good job of taking really the opposing team's star player out of the game. Now, there have been other avenues where they have maybe lost the game themselves or other team have come up to beat them, but they have done a really good job of eliminating, for the most part. Like, go back to the Nebraska game. Rank Mass, held in check. I know you and I were talking about not going for 30, 35. They did that. But for the most part, yeah, these guys are holding opponent stars to a pretty average evening out.
And, well, you have to give credit to 2 individuals. The coaching staff for putting together the schemes, and then also the players for going out there to execute. Now, clearly, these teams in the Big Ten, they're good, they're ranked. That means they have more than 1, 2, or 3 options. So clearly, the fact that if you could take their top option out, you still got to deal with the second and third best players. So, give Ohio State credit for doing that in back-to-back games. Unfortunately, they didn't get the win against Nebraska, but they got the one against Oregon. Now, the big thing now is getting 2 here on this West Coast swing.
That would be huge. What are you looking most for tonight from this Ohio State team, Ron, as they get ready to take on the Huskies at 6 o'clock?
Yeah, I like to see Bruce Thornton be Bruce Thornton.
Okay.
I mean, he had an off night, no assists in that game, and he still was solid. He got in double figures, but in order for Ohio State to continue to make this push to hopefully be in the upper echelon of the Big Ten and the NCAA tournament pick, Bruce Thornton is going to play a major factor in that. So I like to see Bruce Thornton be vintage Bruce Thornton here tonight.
I would too, and the best part about that, Ron, is that Ohio State still won by 10 points without him having to put on the Superman cape. Always appreciate the time, Ron. Have a great call with Paul and Skip. Enjoy your waning hours on the Pacific Northwest. We're looking forward to having you back home. Safe travels back to Central Ohio, and we will check in again next Saturday as UCLA is here at the Shot, all right?
I appreciate it. Go Bucks.
There he goes, Ron Stokes with us every single game right here on the Warmup Show. How about one more from Jake Diebler talking about the aggressiveness that led to a big Ohio State victory on the road against Oregon their last time out.
There was. It's a different mindset. You know, there was no feeling it out. There was no, like, we knew we were going to see multiple defenses this game. And so we just talked about executing whatever's called, executing our flow offense, and being aggressive. There were some tendencies we identified on film that felt like could give us an advantage. After the first kind of 5-6 minutes, we did a better job executing that, and it opened some stuff up for us. So I was really, really happy with the attack kind of mindset we had tonight.
I think that's a critical component this evening as well on the road in Seattle to take on the Huskies. Not asking you to get out to an early lead, just asking you not to be down by double digits within the first 8 minutes of the game. Everybody have an awesome evening. We'll be back here for the post-game show. Paul, Ron, and Skip from Seattle. They'll take you through the evening. Buckeye Hoops up next right here on The Fan.
You've been listening to the Fan Warmup Show.
Presented by the Ohio State Army, ROTC. Decide to lead today.
Stay tuned for Buckeye basketball on your flagship home for Ohio State athletics.